I recently had a buyer that was told they could only get $125,000 from the bank. After having an in-depth conversation with me and exploring some other options, their buying power nearly doubled after having one conversation. So before you limit yourself to the type of home that you can buy, hearing all your options might make or break the decision that you do make. If you've been planning on buying a home and you haven't made or taken the steps that I'm going to discuss in this video, feel free, send me a message. All my details are down below. I would love to have an opportunity to earn your business and point you and guide you in the right direction during the home buying process. What's up, everybody? My name's Talon. I'm a local realtor here in Northeast Arkansas, serving communities like Jonesboro, Brooklyn, Paragould, and surrounding cities, of course, where I'm a multi-million-dollar producer. We've been buying and selling real estate for countless amount of years, building a team where we're not just making dreams, but rather we're making your dreams what we call reality. And whether that might sound cliche or not, my goal is to not just be cliche in this video, but rather to bring some real value and meat to the table where you can chew on it, where you can think about it and process it and take it home and think about it more and figure out exactly what kind of solution makes the most sense for you. If you've watched any of my videos recently, you've noticed a shift in them, and I've been trying to be a little bit more raw and authentic with you. It's one thing to make a cool, fancy edited video that might be shallow, but we want to be more in-depth and personal and intentional about the content that we're creating for the viewers here on the internet, because you're probably in the area, or perhaps you're thinking about buying a house, or perhaps you're a seller that's just like, who is this weirdo making videos in Jonesboro? At the end of the day, my goal is to show you that we're not just these realtors that dance on TikTok for views, and we're not the ones that just make all the funny jokes just to get a couple follows. But at the end of the day, we're professionals, and we want to relay the information and knowledge and experience that we have to you. That way you can make the best decision possible. I want to tell you a little story. I had a buyer recently, and he called me and he started to talk to me about houses that he was looking at. They were looking around the $125,000 mark, and he had been working with a local bank. This local bank is a local bank. They don't offer government-backed loans like USDA loans, which is 0 down, or FHA programs, which is 3.5% down on 30-year fixed-rate mortgages, right? Most of the time, local banks, they're going to offer you a loan for 15 to 20 years, amortized over those 15 and 20 years. Therefore, you're crunching this big purchase price in a shorter amount of time, therefore making your payment higher. And so on paper, his payment was really high for a $120,000 house. But what he didn't know is that there were other options available that he just had to make the right connections with that would literally almost double his buying power. Whenever I get to listening to him and he's sending me these houses that he's not really in love with, I finally just bluntly asked him, I said, man, why are you buying a $120,000 house? Or rather, why are you trying to? Now look, I'm not criticizing anybody that buys a home at $120,000. I've sold a lot of homes, great homes, in fact, that were listed at $120,000. My point, though, is that was within their budget, and that was a home that was priced within reason for them. But this person in particular felt like he was being limited. He made really good money. He didn't have a lot of debt, and he had no bad history on his credit. And what was hindering him was not his financial statement. What was hindering him was his connections with the lender he was talking to. Now, just like every industry, there's good people in this world and there's bad people in this world. And lenders and salespeople in particular try to be a little biased to their product, right? If you could ever find a person, a salesperson that tends to push you away and perhaps interview other people and go look at other options, hang on to that person, because typically they're somebody to keep in your sphere of influence, right? But anyways, this guy did not know what a government-backed loan is. He didn't know what a USDA loan was, or rural development loan, which is where you put 0 down and you can have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, therefore making your entrance to the property very accessible, because you don't have to have what he needed, which was 20% down to buy a house. He needed $20,000 to buy a $100,000 property that he was not in love with, that was probably going to need a lot of work, that was too small for him, and probably an area that he did not want to live in. And because we were able to connect him with a local trusted lender that was able to offer him a USDA loan, even an FHA loan because of his circumstances, which is where you put 3.5% down. Now all of a sudden, he didn't need $20,000 to buy the house. He was able to nearly double the amount of property that he was able to buy. They were limiting him at $125,000. The next lender said, hey, we could easily get you at the same roundabout payment at about a $200,000 house, nearly doubling his amount of purchase power. And guess what? The best part about it is because it wasn't crunched within a 15-year note. It was expanded upon with a 30-year note. All of a sudden, he got double the amount of purchase power at the same payment and same terms. Matter of fact, he ended up getting a better interest rate working with the government-backed loan than he would have that local in-house bank that was trying to get him on a 15-year note. Now look, if you're a local bank loan officer, I'm not hating on you. This guy was just uneducated, and unfortunately, the loan officer at that bank was not letting him know that there was other residential options available. Local banks are better for your investment properties. They're going to be able to give you money when the government won't on your investment properties because they can overlook some of the things that perhaps the government won't, right? If it's not your residence, government bank or the government loans isn't even going to work anyways because it's supposed to be your residence. And so at the end of the day, there's a time and place to use local banks. If you're a real estate investor, you know the local banks are the ones that you want to do business with, right? My point is not to throw shade on a local bank or to say, oh, hey, all local banks are evil. No, that's not the point of the video. The point of my video is if you are a home buyer or potential future home buyer, before you just go talk to mom and pop down here on, ABC Street that you've been banking with for years, you might want to consider talking with a loan officer. Now, look, I'm not a loan officer. It profits me none who you bank with, but if you want to look at the real numbers and see what makes more sense for you financially on your home, your personal residence, just like this buyer of mine that was able to nearly double his buying power just by making the right connections, the same thing can be done for you. His interest rate was lowered, his payment lowered, but his purchase power doubled. And he was able to buy a home that actually met his needs, was in the right location, and had everything that he desired in his first time home. Now look, before you make the same mistake that he almost did, which is talking with one person and not talking with another person. I always tell people, no matter if I'm listing someone's house, whether I'm meeting with a buyer for the first time, or whether I am shopping around for any kind of product, I tell people this: always shop around. Always get a different perspective. It's a smart way to shop. And if you're going to be buying the biggest asset of your entire life, the biggest purchase price that you've ever spent before, don't you think it'd be a wise decision to at least shop around? I know a lot of our buyers have found value in us getting them connected with the right people before they ever even started looking at homes, because what happens is they'll talk to one person and they'll get discouraged and they'll stop even looking at homes because they don't think it's even possible or feasible. Who's got 20% down to buy a first-time home? Who's got $20,000 to deploy on a house when they're trying to find a reasonable house that's priced right because they want to keep their payment relatively low, but they don't even know all the options that are on the table? And so this is what I would offer you. If you are a potential home buyer in Northeast Arkansas, and you don't already have a loan officer helping you, and you're maybe kind of questioning some of the terms of your agreement or the banker that you've talked with, it never hurts to get perspective from a third party. And that's what I'm here for. My job is to interpret and make sure that you're being represented to the best of their ability. And so instead of limiting yourself, instead of buying a house that you're going to regret next year or next month or next week, why not explore other options? Why not just see what this guy over here has to offer compared to the first guy? It's not that you're trying to intentionally stab anyone behind the back. It's business. It's you're looking out for your family, your future, and your kids. And that's what I expect my clients to do before they ever sign papers or documents with anybody. So look, if you don't already have a realtor, and if you need guidance, if you need direction to which steps to take in this next phase in your life, all my contact information is down below. You've watched to the end of this video because perhaps you do need help, because you've went through this before. Or maybe you didn't get the best terms in the first purchase of that property that you bought years ago. There's strategy and solutions for the next steps, no matter if it's your first time or if this is your second or fourth. There's always something better to be offered to you. It's just, are you willing to make the connections and ask the questions necessary? My name's Talon. I'm a local realtor here in Northeast Arkansas. If you don't already have one, send me a message. I'd love to have an opportunity to earn your business. If you've watched it all the way to the end, make sure to click the like button, comment something perhaps that caught your attention in this video, and subscribe for more content like this. Again, I look forward to hearing from you in the future.